that you tell early in your book that maybe you can share with us, because it has to do with that whole idea of what success is usually looked at by the American culture. And then this thing happened that suggested that beauty and ugliness goes kind of hand in hand sometimes.
And so
I think you know the one I'm talking about.
I would be guessing that at the very front of the book, it'd have to do with Monday Night Football.
Yeah, that's the one, Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football, which will date me, is Monday Night Football.
What's going to date you is when you tell who
the announcers were, which most of the people that watch the blog will probably never heard of, but it was Howard Cosell and
you dated.
Yeah, you already dated on Howard, and then Dandy Don Meredith, who used to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys many decades ago, and Don Meredith was kind of a ladies' man, and he and Frank Gifford. Those were the three. Monday Night Football. And there was no recording of TV back then, and there was no tape delay. And so I'm watching Monday Night Football, and I'm sitting back and just relaxing, and the game's just gotten started, and I don't know, it's something I think they throw out, these little distractions to people that can't pay attention to the game. I don't know why they do it, but anyway, they're panning the crowd for some good-looking woman to just kind of focus on and get everybody's attention. Well, the camera landed this night on this really attractive woman. She looked like someone had warned her ahead of time and said, the camera's going to find you and you need to be ready. And she obviously had her hair done up, her makeup was just beautiful. She just looked like she was ready to be a model. And so they zoomed in, and Dandy Don made a couple snide comments about how attractive she was. And of course, there's no jumbotrons back then, and so she has no idea that she's on national TV in front of millions of people. Of course, if she would have known, I'm sure she would have not done what she did next, and which was she proceeded to just kind of look both sides, and she put her finger on her lip, and she had this unbelievably manicured fingernail, just beautiful. And she just kind of stealth and cautiously, with nobody knowing, not knowing she's on national TV in front of millions of people, she takes this manicured finger and she begins to go up deep into her nostril. I mean, and the cameras, they're locked into this woman who's digging out this juicy booger and doesn't know she's on national TV. And I'm sure they're screaming in the background, turn the camera, turn the camera. And so this all happened in a matter of moments, seconds, and she's got her finger up in the deep recesses of her nose, and just as she's about to pull it out, the camera pulls off, and we're all on the edge of our seats going, wow, we wanted to see what was in there. What did she find? What did she discover? And Danny Don put it in as best as it could be put. He said, I guess we'll never know whether she actually scored or not. And by this time, I'm rolling on the floor laughing. And, it came back to me as I've been kind of pillaging the dark shadows of my memories and my mind for stories. And I love stories. And it's a graphic story of we're all human. And this woman went in a matter of moments from being a model, beautiful, to just being kind of ugly. And picking your nose isn't a very, if that turns you on and appeals to you, you got something worse going on than ugly in your life. You got some brokenness you probably need some prayer about. But she went from being just gorgeous, beautiful, perfect to just flawed, human. She needs to take a bath every night, wash her hands, hopefully. She's just a human woman. And so that disarmed the word beauty. And ugly beauty was the fact that she's still beautiful, but she's human. She's flawed. She's earthy. And we don't have to pretend that we're not that. And I think the church, if you take that in a spiritual way, tries to pretend that we don't have those spiritual flaws and weaknesses and insecurities and doubts. And so because we want to hide those things because we think that we can't be spiritual.
We don't want anybody to see them.
No, if you see them, then you'll think, I'm not really spiritual.
We don't want our TV cameras running around on Sunday morning
No,
picking
no,
up
no.
how unspiritual we
No,
are.
we want to catch us when we're in our best,
Yeah.
and edit out anything less than that. So that introduces the concept in the beginning of the book as her what I refer to as her false beauty is unmasked to her real beauty, which is that it's who you are. I quote that verse in there to kind of tie it in, and that's what I do with the stories, as you said. And I quoted that verse out of Proverbs that says that a beautiful woman who lacks discretion or virtue is like a gold ring in a pig's nose. And it's a graphic metaphor that says you can put a beautiful ring in the nose of a pig, but still a pig.
Big.
Doesn't change it. And so we put all these artificial things spiritually on us. And obviously in our culture we do it physically, but we put all these artificial things on us spiritually that try to make us look spiritual. If I can just shout louder, if I can, speak in tongues better, if I can quote the Bible stronger, if I can, make a better whatever confession. Now I've got a gold ring. I look like I'm spiritual, which in reality, inner beauty is what the Lord's looking for, obviously, in that parable or that proverb. And so this woman, I'm not saying that she was somehow evil. She just was ugly and human, just like all of us.